One of the things that I do when people ask me how to teach is I ask them, how do you learn? What would make learning work best for you? I sometimes put this under the heading of personal learning. And what it's really focused on is the day-to-day practices that a person, and usually a teacher, because I talk to teachers mostly, the day-to-day practices that they would undertake in order to keep up in their field, to learn the latest practices, etc. And I break it down into three major areas. First of all, interactivity. Second, usability. And third, relevance. Now, why are these important? These are a bit different from the sort of things that would be valuable in a traditional classroom. But it's a different sort of learning that you're undertaking when you're learning on your own than when you're learning in a traditional classroom. And I'll talk about this as I go through these three. Let's begin with interactivity. Interactivity is important in learning for a variety of reasons. It helps a lot when you're learning to know that there's somebody else at the other end of the learning activity. Terry Anderson calls this presence. And presence, he says, creates this vital social function in learning that really helps us become motivated and engaged in our learning. And there are different kinds of presence. You can be present with the teacher or with other students, or even through the learning materials. And the idea is to carry through some of the character, some of the humanity of the person. Why do we need interactivity? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first reason is you need to know what other people know. You need their content. You need their knowledge. I mean, you're not learning about nothing, right? So you want them to tell you, to model and demonstrate what they know. And the second thing is context. And I know that sounds sort of odd, but a good contact, a good person that you're interacting with will demonstrate not just what the learning is, but why it's important, where it fits in the grand scheme of things. So content and context, these are the two major things that interactivity provides. The second part of learning on your own, or personal learning, is usability. Usability really can be broken down into two major elements. One is simplicity. This was practically the mantra of usability expert Jacob Nielsen. Keep it simple, keep it simple. But the other part of usability is consistency. These two things together form what is probably the core of great design of things like the Google website or the original Yahoo pages, or even the interfaces that you use in furniture or appliances. Consistency and simplicity. The need for simplicity, I think, is probably obvious. Everybody has been confronted at one time or another with this learning tool or device that looks like it's the control panel for a spaceship created by NASA. And you never know where to start. You need to be able to figure it out for yourself. Do this, then do this, then do this. Game designers know this really well. Nobody reads the instructions for a game. The game will lead you through. It'll keep the interface fairly simple at first and then build up on it and layer up on it. Consistency means being able to bring in the knowledge about the use and the navigation, etc., from other contexts into the current context. Have you ever noticed that all your computer programs all pretty much look the same? There's a little X in the top corner. If you use Windows, you use the same activities to close a window. Your forms, or you type in text, look pretty much the same. This is consistency. Consistency means you're not having to think about how you're doing things. You can think about what it is that you're doing. Simplicity and consistency, that's usability. Finally, third is relevance. Relevance means having the information, the content, the support, the resources that you need when you need them. Relevance is a two-step process. The first step is to gather widely, to find information from whatever source that you can. In my case, I look at academic publications, of course, because I'm an academic, but I also look at newspapers, I look at magazines, I look at social media like Facebook and Twitter, I look at blog posts, I look at discussion lists, and I look around to gather information from my own experience. I gather in information from as wide a selection of sources as possible. And then the second part of relevance, filter. Filter ruthlessly. If it's not relevant, if it's not going to help you, don't keep the information around. The idea is gather from as many sources as possible and then pick from those sources exactly what you need. So learning personally consists of those three steps, right? Those three major facets: interactivity, usability, and relevance. Now, here's the secret to this. You have to create these yourself. You cannot depend on a third party to create them for you, because these are all personally defined. Interactivity, you have to, in a traditional course, typically sit in the classroom, you have to add that for yourself. To usability, again, you have to establish the simplicity, you have to establish the consistency. You know, I mean, for example, you'll get information from many different sources translated into your own words. So you personally use the same term the same way all the time. And when you're being taught new concepts or principles, rewrite those so that you're representing them in a simple, consistent way that you can see and understand. And then, of course, finally, relevance. Only you can determine what's relevant to you. You can't depend on other people to tell you what's relevant. So each of these three things, they're elements in learning, they're elements in personal learning, but they're the sort of thing that you have to be attending to as you navigate the learning process.